News, now on 101.1 FM and 1310 AM.
It's Monday, April 12th. Good morning. I'm Andrew Boyle. Right now in Ottawa, it's 12 degrees. In Smiths Falls, it's 11. And here's what's making news this hour. New numbers of COVID infections in the province just coming in. We'll have those for you just in a couple of seconds after Jamie Pulford gives us a weekend rundown on what that means.
The province reported a record high number of new infections. We're talking 4,456, with more than 600 patients now in the ICU.
Where are all the people who thought this was fake? Where are they now, honestly? We've really decided to roll the dice on this one, haven't we, as a province? You know, we can't treat this thing as if it's bad news that we could wish away, and now we're paying for that, unfortunately.
Toronto ER Dr. Kashyap Prasada on Breakfast Television this morning as Ontario hospitals start ramping down elective surgeries and non-urgent procedures starting today.
You know, when all the operating rooms shut down, everyday activities become a lot riskier. Like, if there's no trauma team backing you up to do surgery, God forbid if you get into an accident, is that drive to work safe again? Is that bike ride going to be safe?
I'm Jamie Pulford.
Now for today, from about 48,000 tests completed, 4,401 new cases of COVID province-wide. 339 of those cases are in Ottawa, 38 in the Eastern Ontario Health Unit, 17 in Leeds. No new cases today in Renfrew. 15 more deaths are being blamed on COVID across the province. An East Ottawa MPP is urging the provincial government to add their riding into the high-risk area list for the vaccine rollout, despite Ottawa Public Health already indicating it as such. Here's City News reporter Alex Gouge.
Vanier Overbrook MPP Lucille Collard feels the areas she represents needs to be added to Ontario's high-risk list, since many residents are essential workers, many live in congregate settings, while food bank use is among the highest in the province. She feels the government isn't offering vaccinations directly to the areas in the most dire need, despite saying the rollout is coming to high-risk communities. The MPP also breaks down her thoughts on the newly expanded list of pharmacies offering jabs across Ottawa.
Seems to be a little bit of a premature, stunt to try to show that they're doing something, because none of those locations seems to have appointments available to give to people.
Collard also feels there is conflicting information on the government's website and adds local health units are the best place to find facts about the vaccine rollout. Alex Gouge, City News.
Now, more than 700 pharmacies joining Ontario's COVID-19 vaccine rollout. Government officials say this move will rapidly expand the availability of the AstraZeneca vaccine for people aged 55 and older. Added locations will mean more than 1,400 pharmacies will offer the vaccines. Now, there is a full list at ottawa.citynews.ca for all the added pharmacies in our entire Eastern Ontario region. City News time 10:04. Now your forecast with meteorologist Jill Taylor.
For Ottawa, the Valley, and Smiths Falls today, there's a chance of showers, sun and cloud, a gusty east wind, the high 19 degrees, though. For tonight, continuing windy, mainly cloudy and 7, and tomorrow, mainly cloudy and 18. For today, the high 19.
And right now in Ottawa, 12 degrees. It's 11 degrees right now in Smiths Falls. It may not be as bad as 2020, but the next hurricane season expected to be pretty active. Reporter Jim Ryan has more on what is coming for the storm-weary American Gulf Coast and the Atlantic seaboard.
Colorado State University issues the annual storm forecast accepted as the country standard. This year it's predicting 17 named storms, 8 hurricanes and 4 major hurricanes. Even at that rate, 2021 is not expected to surpass 2020, when 11 storms made landfall in the U.S., bringing up $37 billion in damage.
Now, there were so many storms last year, the list of usual names was exhausted, pushing storm naming into the Greek alphabet all the way to iota. Business owners in Old Montreal cleaning up today and assessing damage after anti-curfew protesters lit garbage fires and smashed out store windows. Hundreds gathered in defiance of the 8 o'clock curfew last night that took effect in Montreal. I'm Andrew Boyle. For News Anytime, follow up online at ottawa.citynews.ca.
Talk back. Hello.
On the Rob Snow Show, the phone lines are open at 613-750-1310.
Now, Rob Snow Show continues.
Look, I don't pretend to have any answers. I just, I look at these daily case numbers out now. 4,401. 4,401 and a test positivity rate of 9.5%. 339 cases in Ottawa today. And I'm as alarmed as anyone, and I'm as confused as anyone, and I don't really know why these case counts are so high. What do you think? What do you think is happening out there? That could explain these numbers and why they're at these levels. Why they're basically as high as they've ever been during any time since the pandemic began 13 months ago now. And the number of people needing to be hospitalized because of COVID-19, that's way up. Our latest guest just said we're at a breaking point. The hospitals are at a breaking point. The number of patients in ICU, way up. It's more than 600 now. They said the system would collapse at 150. It's 600 and something now. The number of people dying from COVID-19 had been going down for weeks, and now that's not the case anymore. Now it's increasing again. And the demographics of the patient, younger now. It's not the frail, elderly, long-term care resident anymore. It's younger people. So this is your hour. It's the Talk Back Hour. What are we doing wrong? What are we doing that we shouldn't be doing? What aren't we doing that we should be doing? But another way, what's happening out there? That could explain this dramatic increase in cases, hospitalizations, deaths. 750-1310. 750-1310. 613-750-1310. Email the Rob Snow Show at ottawa.citynews.ca, but I prefer to speak to you on the telephone. Dina or Dinah?
Dina.
Dina, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for calling. What do you think is going on out there?
First of all, this is a race against time because the variant is much worse than the original strain. And we're not getting vaccines.
Not getting vaccinated fast enough.
Fast enough, yes.
Yeah.
And I would like to know why there are no vaccines coming in this week. I would like to know what's going on with the vaccine contract.
Well, just to be clear, there are 1 million doses of Pfizer vaccine, but that's it. No Moderna coming in, no AstraZeneca coming in, no Johnson & Johnson coming in.
But why?
Yeah, good question.
I mean, this is our best way and our only way out of this mess.
Yeah. You know, and a million doses is a million doses, and I guess at this point we should be grateful to get them, but we're doing 3 million a day in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
So it's really 8 hours worth of what they would use in the U.S.
Yes.
Right, yeah. So
I think it's unacceptable.
it's the slow pace of vaccines. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for your call. Yeah, it's greatly
Bye.
appreciated. 750-1310, first Talk Back Hour of the week. I hope you had a great weekend and you got out there, you enjoyed it. But it's it's back to work, it's back to life, it's back to reality, and this is our reality. COVID misery. Okay, Phil, Orleans. Phil.
How you doing?
I'm good, Phil. Thank you for calling, sir. What do you think is going on out there that would explain another 4,400 cases today?
Well, I'm getting very distressed on the way things are going.
Yeah.
370 cases in Ottawa is, I don't know, beyond my comprehension. Anyway, I think the main problem is enforcement.
Okay.
Like, I don't see a cop car, I don't see a bylaw car, I don't see nothing. It's just like in the winter. You don't see a snow plow and, you know what I mean?
Right.
You get a snowstorm and you don't see nothing.
Like, for example, Phil, it's a good point you raised, sir. There's a stay-at-home order in effect, right?
Sure.
What happens if I don't stay at home?
Well, I've been...
Will I get pulled over by the police? Will they give me a ticket? What's the fine for disobeying the stay-at-home order? See, in Quebec, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it's being challenged in court, and we'll see what happens. There's a curfew, right?
I know.
And if you're out past 8 o'clock, you will get a fine. Well, in Montreal, if you're out past the curfew and you light a garbage can on fire, they'll throw tear gas at you. So, I mean,
That's the way it should be. Look at out in Edmonton, the thousands of people were protesting outside that church.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't know what's going on in this country.
Right. You would like to see more enforcement, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing now? What are you doing? This is a stay-at-home order. What are you doing? Where are you going? These kinds of things?
I'm in bed.
Yeah.
I'm in bed.
No. But I mean, do you want the police to be pulling people over? You know, at 10 o'clock at night, if there's a group of people in a car, do you want the police to be pulling people over and asking them, where are you going? What are you doing? What are you doing? There's a stay-at-home order in effect. Are you going to the grocery store? Because the grocery store's closed right now.
Well, if it gets up to 1,000 cases in Ottawa a day, then I think that might happen.
Yeah, okay, we might not have any choice at that point. All right, Phil, thank you. Thank you. But you're distressed. I think that's a good word to use at this point. Distressed. I think a lot of people are quite distressed. Rockland. Steve. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm okay, Steve. What do you think is going on out there, buddy? We got 4,400 cases today.
I'll tell you something. I live right at the Tercel Ferry, and I'm just down from the Cumberland Ferry.
Okay.
Both working at full capacity. They're bringing them in, they're bringing them out. There's no, I'm not going to point any fingers, but this doesn't seem right. There's a curfew. I know people got to work. I get that. But we're under a lockdown here. People are coming going like ants. I went to Cornwall. I had to go to Cornwall for business. I couldn't get out of it. I was there a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Oh, New York license plates.
Oh.
The Empire State. What the hell's going on?
Right.
You know what the banter is right now with my line of friends? You know what the banter is? The airfares are so cheap, we should go somewhere.
Oh.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Where are you
Yeah.
going to go? You know what I mean? I'm scared to go to Walmart. I feel guilty, and this is what I'm seeing.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Too many people going too many places when they shouldn't be going anywhere, and they should be staying at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, this is a good point, you know. And the previous caller makes it too. Where's the enforcement? I mean, it's a stay-at-home order, but what happens if I don't want to stay at home? Hey, there's a stay-at-home order. What's the penalty for violating it? David tells me, so the 14 days ago, the test positivity rate was 4.5% in Ontario. 14 days ago, right? 2 weeks. Now it's 9.5%, and another jurisdiction with a test positivity rate around 10% is India. Okay. John. Good morning, John.
Yeah.
Hey, John. What do you think is going on out there, buddy? Why do we have 4,400 cases?
Well, if you take a walk outside, you know, you really, I wear a mask all the time. Now, what I do is I pull it down around my chin when I want to breathe, because, yeah, it's a bit confining.
Yeah.
But when you're on a sidewalk, the sidewalks are only 3.5, 4 feet wide, there's people striding down the middle of them, and you don't see them carrying a mask. There's nothing around their neck, there's nothing around their face. And everyone doesn't wear anything, or should I say, no one wears one. I think the crux of the problem is people, and I hate to be so blunt, there's a lot of really stupid people. They just don't get it. It's been a year.
Right.
And if you read the stats, any place that they've had a gathering where nobody wears any protection, they're done. You know, the numbers skyrocket. And the places where they, at least a piece of cloth, you know, that's a couple of layers thick, that's designed to be worn as such, you know, as a surgical mask or a replacement thereof. That just keeps out some of the particulates, but the distancing kind of finishes it off. You know, if you don't keep everything out, at least if you're far enough away, the rest of it won't get you. You know what I mean? But there isn't any sort of cognitive skill with some of these people out here. I don't. I almost got hit by a bicycle on the sidewalk.
No, don't get me started about people who bicycle on the sidewalk.
No.
Oh, that drives me crazy. All right. It's cognitive dissonance, in other words, John. Okay, all right. Gotcha. People are stupid. Hey, you'll get no argument from me. This is the Rob Snow Show on City News.
This hour of the Rob Snow Show is brought to you by Cardinal Planning. Protect your wealth. Visit cardinalplanning.ca.
The Spring Heart and Stroke Lottery is here with 2 grand prizes of $1 million and the same great 1 to 2 odds of winning. How would you bring your family together if you won? A luxury escape with millions in cash prizes, an exciting road trip with a Ford F-150 and Airstream, an extravagant cookout with a backyard makeover, or a day on the lake with a Legend Pro Sport fishing boat. Let's beat heart disease and stroke and help save a life. Buy your tickets today at heartandstrokelottery.ca. Lottery license RAF 1200798. You've worked hard all your life to provide for your family. It has taken a lifetime for you to build your wealth. Make sure it is protected with an estate and legacy plan. Give yourself and your family stability and peace of mind. Peter Fraser and his team at Cardinal Planning can help you protect your family and estate for generations to come. Minimize high taxes and fees. Ensure generational success. Wisely set up inheritances and more. Keep your wealth. Talk to the professionals at Cardinal Planning because peace of mind is a conversation worth having. Visit cardinalplanning.ca. What are you making, hon?
Wings and sweet potato fries.
Yum! Oh, I love our new Dash air fryer from TSC. The kids are gonna love those.
I agree. Makes cooking healthy and easy.
Definitely.
By the way, the kids are really enjoying their new MacBooks for classes.
Oh, if they're busy with school, I'm gonna squeeze in a workout on our Echelon rower before dinner.
Shop amazing daily deals with today's showstopper at tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
Hi, I'm a high-pressure weather system.
And I'm low pressure.
Opposites attract.
You're so cool.
You're so hot.
Let's make precipitation.
Yeah, but everyone hates it when we get together.
Except Subarus. They love spring showers.
Right, because they have symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive.
Sure, we make it rain, but that's how rainbows are made.
Enjoy Subaru's all-weather drive event with great rates on 2021 Subaru Foresters. Go online to build and price yours and adventure on in all weather. Humans are the most advanced species on Earth. We've conquered fire, created powerful technologies, and yet we're still stuck paying for food delivery. Not anymore. With Good Food, you can get delicious ready-to-cook meals and grocery items like Good Food hummus, popcorn, and bacon delivered free right to your home. Good Food. Eating evolved. Visit makegoodfood.ca. With minimum purchase. Details on makegoodfood.ca.
Get ready, Bachelor Nation, because City TV is bringing paradise to Canada. You've watched the franchise, and now's your chance to join it. Bachelor in Paradise Canada is coming to City TV, and we want you to be a part of the show. You can apply now to join the cast by visiting citytv.com and following the Bachelor in Paradise Canada link. So if your love life is lacking romance, then paradise awaits. Bachelor in Paradise Canada, coming soon to City TV.
It's time to talk back.
On the Rob Snow Show.
Have your say and call now.
613-750-1310.
Talk back hour, right back to the phone. Anna, Ottawa. Morning, Anna.
Oh, hi, Rob.
So more than 4,400 cases today. What do you think is going on out there?
Well, you know, I don't know. I think it's COVID fatigue. And I think people are just ignoring the message on, like, I just sat in my backyard this weekend. I don't know about you, but I didn't go anywhere. But just from my house, like without leaving my home, I live in a townhouse, so it's kind of easy to see what your neighbors are doing, you know? But,
what are they doing?
well, you know, one neighbor, family was there from Toronto all weekend.
Right.
Another neighbor, quite a large extended family, and I mean, they basically have been ignoring the COVID rules, you know, staying to your household. They've been ignoring it the whole time. I mean, there's, I think, you know, 5 or 6 grown children with grandchildren, and they're in and out the whole time. Then I look in my backyard, I back onto a schoolyard, and I mean, you can't blame them, but there's like a dozen kids there every day playing basketball, no masks, you know, teenagers.
Yeah.
And then because I'm in the Mooney's Bay area, the street was totally full of cars. Everybody was at the park. I guess Riley Brockington was talking about the lack of bylaw there on the weekend.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, just looking around my own area.
Yeah, it sounds like people have just had enough. And if I want to go to the park, I'll go to the park. And if I want to have my family over, I'll have my family over.
Yeah, that's
and,
right. Yeah, no, that's it.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think people have had enough, and
Okay, they're going to do their own thing.
yeah, I don't know. That's what it seems to like to me, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Anna.
All right,
Good to
thank
hear
you.
from you. Yeah, Gloria, you're up next on the Rob Snow Show on City News. What do you think is going
hello,
on?
Rob.
Yeah, hi there.
Hi. I think it's quite possible that there are a lot of people who are in Canada who are, shall we say, overstaying their original visa or whatever. We know our borders are sieves and how easy it is for them to cross over. We've seen that in the past.
Right.
And I'm wondering, because a lot of those people may or may not have had a shot in the U.S. or wherever.
Right.
I'm wondering that
Like, who are
when
these?
you go to
I'm
get
sorry,
it-
Gloria.
Yes.
Before we go down too far down this rabbit hole, I mean, when you say those people, these people, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about non-Canadians.
Non-Canadians. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
People who've come to visit family and because of circumstances are staying, etc. And I'm wondering, because when you go in to get a shot, regardless of what it is, you have to have your health card.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of these people may well not, probably don't have a quote health card. And would they still not go, would they not go in?
Yeah, but I think, actually CBC did a story about this topic just last week, about somebody who was here on a visa, and OHIP says you need an OHIP card to get vaccinated in order to make your appointment.
Right.
But that in the interest of public health, because we want as many people who are in Ontario to be vaccinated, you shouldn't really have to have an OHIP card to get vaccinated. Just in the interest of public health.
Yeah, I
But
wonder
then
if
when it
everybody
comes to
knows that, though.
but then when it comes to the bureaucracy and they want to track how many doses have been given out, they're going to use OHIP cards to do that, right? So, yeah. So I can see how it can kind of be a mess.
Right.
Yeah, but nevertheless, when it comes to what is actually happening with the borders, okay, this is in. This was in the Vancouver Sun this morning. The BC Centre for Disease Control says there have been 23 flights in and out of the Vancouver airport with at least one person on board who was COVID-19 positive since the start of April, which was less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a flight every couple of days.
Yeah.
So then I read that story and I looked up the list of international flights that are landing at Pearson today. And these are the international destinations. Flights coming in from these cities or countries. Istanbul, New Delhi, Seoul, Lima, Zurich, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, Shanghai, Trinidad and Tobago, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, London, Tokyo, Milan, and then all the American cities, Atlanta, Detroit, Charlotte.
It sounds about the norm. It sounds about
just like it's another day at Pearson Airport. I mean, it may be maybe not as busy as it used to be, but there's still lots of international flights. Okay, it does. Does that explain 4,400 cases in Ontario today? Probably not. But some of the same old problems that we used to discuss here on the Rob Snow Show a year ago are still with us today. Ronald on the Quebec side. Ronald.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, Ronald. How are you?
Oh, not too bad there. Just taking this stuff over and,
Thinking it over. Okay. And what conclusions have you reached?
Well, I know in Ottawa right now, I'm a security guard in Ottawa, and I was on Bank Street. I was a guard on Bank, and it's full of people. It's like crazy. Stores are all open. People are going into McDonald's. It's like the people don't care if this goes away. It don't go away. If they don't only listen and do what they have to do, a stay-at-home order, what is that, I'd go back to 20, 30 years ago when I was young. We used to close the stores at 5 o'clock. All stores were closed. Weekend, Sunday wasn't open.
Yep. No Sunday shopping. No Sunday shopping, right? Yeah.
No Sunday shopping, closed down at 5 o'clock like the olden days.
Right.
And control it, because they got no control at all.
Like here in Quebec, we're closed down at 8 o'clock. You don't see hardly no cars on the road.
Yeah, you're not allowed out after 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I finished work last night. I did it 12 hours, and at 8 o'clock, 9th Street was still full. When I got on the Quebec side, maybe I see 10 cars.
Right, yeah.
Everything's closed down.
Yeah, and probably the people in those 10 cars were already all pulled over. They were probably all pulled over with the police, the SQ asking them, where are you going, right? So, yeah.
I do this every weekend at my job, and I never, like even the hockey games I do, and I never got pulled over yet.
Okay.
But you see there's less cars on the road, less people.
Yeah.
Less people in the parking lot talking.
And fewer cases.
Well, that's it, but that's where they have to go in Ottawa. It's crazy, you know, like you look at your numbers.
Have a curfew, maybe.
Get into the curfew and start to enforce it, because I was talking to a police at a hockey game, and he told me they don't even know what rules they should use to, you know, they're not told what to do.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ronald.
Okay.
Ronald lives on the Quebec side, but works in Ottawa, and says the comparison between the two places is like night and day, especially at night. Over there, they have a curfew. Okay, whatever you think of it. It seems to be one of the big differences. Maybe one of the big differences in the approach, right? When you look at the case counts in Quebec, they've been rising, but they're still, I would say, even prorated. The case counts in Quebec are probably half of what they are in Ontario. You know, taking into account the differences in population, 8.5 million in Quebec, 14.5 million here in Ontario, I bet you prorated, it's probably still about half of what our case counts are. They're doing better over there, and they have a curfew. Don't go out after 8 o'clock at night. Don't leave the house before 5 o'clock in the morning. And besides, I mean, where would you go anyway? Unless you wanted to light a fire in Montreal. 10:28, Rob Snow Show, halftime. Right back to your calls, halftime. Talk back hour 750-1310. This is City News.
This hour of the Rob Snow Show is brought to you by Cardinal Planning. Protect your wealth. Visit cardinalplanning.ca. City News has today's top stories on the menu with the Mark Sutcliffe Show, weekdays at noon.
Ottawa and the Valley's lunchtime snapshot of the day's developing news.
Along with insight and commentary.
The Power Lunch kicks off this information hour with a panel discussion on the issues that affect all of us.
When you want to skip the appetizers and go for the main course, the Mark Sutcliffe Show fills you up with the facts and informed opinion.
Weekdays at noon on City News.
1011 FM.
And 1310 AM.
Had enough cold, dark, dreary weather? The following piece of sunshine is brought to you by House of Canvas. Think sunshine. Think spring. Think House of Canvas today. Beat the rush and be on your way to the backyard you've been dreaming about. This is the year you upgrade to shade, so get the best. House of Canvas, covering the Ottawa Carleton area since 1976. HouseofCanvas.com.
The all-new 2021 Ford F-150. Whoa, this truck deserves more than all new. Like? The no-compromise 2021 F-150. All right. What about available Pro Power on board? Groundbreaking. For a feature that gives you the ability to turn your truck into a mobile generator? Do better. Genius. Ooh, nailed it. Get up to $4,000 in rebates plus 2.99% APR purchase financing for up to 72 months on select new 2021 F-150 models. For details, contact your Ford dealer of Ottawa or visit Ford.ca.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
First I pointed, then the junk disappeared. But the sparkle sound came a little bit late. So I said, you should probably make that sparkle sound a little bit quicker. And then Charlotte materialized out of thin air and said,
Never hesitate to trade your cow for a handful of magic beans.
I love 1-800-GOT-JUNK. When you want junk to disappear,
all you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit us at 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Number one for local news in Ottawa and the Valley. This is City News, now on 1011 FM and 1310 AM.
It's Monday, April 12th. Good morning. I'm Andrew Boyle. Right now in Ottawa, 14 degrees. In Smiths Falls, it's 12. And here's what's making news this hour. About 48,000 tests completed show 4,401 new cases of COVID-19 in Ontario. 339 of these new cases are in Ottawa, 38 in the Eastern Ontario Health Unit, 17 in Leeds, Grenville, Lanark. No new cases reported today in Renfrew. Now, 15 more people have died because of COVID-19 across our province. Toronto again leading with new cases at 1,282. If the case numbers aren't alarming enough, how about the test positivity rate? It is also climbing at an alarming rate. 2 weeks ago, the number of positive cases from all tests in the province was about 4.5%. Today's number, 9.5% of all tests positive for COVID-19. New resources are being made available at the Ottawa Police Service with a task force now assigned to unsolved homicides. Chief Peter Slowly says in a release, this is the next step in a mission to solve the homicides and support victims' families. City News Time, 10:31. I'm Andrew Boyle for News Anytime. Follow up online at ottawa.citynews.ca.
Talk back. Hello.